We are no longer physicians. We're providers.
Ask your baby's permission.
Gay people, you have become a product. Should auto insurance cover STD? Are you freaking kidding me? So you demean us. You don't get a parade for a sexual preference. To not hurt the feelings of somebody with a fraction of my training. That a beaver's ass presented this to the world. It's a natural flavor. But you are literally an ice cube in a martini shaker. I don't know if we should keep that, but
I love it.
I love the beaver's ass.
You like that, and I like
flavor.
the ice cube in a martini shaker because that's me.
It's kind of.
I wish. Well, sometimes I'm the vodka,
Ding ding.
but I
Ding.
feel like I'm the cube being bounced around.
All right, welcome back to BS Free MD, Doctales with Cocktails.
We're having a cocktail today.
We are going to talk
Cheers.
about some. This actually is going to be maybe a heavier episode. We're going to talk about navigating moral hazard using home improvements and NASCAR as examples.
Mm-hmm. And we were actually been discussing this already earlier. Tim threw it past me, and we got quite heated as far as our discussion and debating. So we'll see what happens now that it won't be fresh debate because we've already talked about it. But you guys can chime in the comments on Facebook because I can follow those on my phone.
X, Rumble, and YouTube.
I can't see the comments on X.
I know. I kind of wonder if we should do these where like either you or I pick the stuff and then we don't ever talk about it before.
Well, I told you that before, but you can't just. It's like Christmas. You can't not know. You can't not keep your mouth shut when it comes to surprising me with what you're going to talk about.
Okay, so let's get right to it. Close to my heart. NASCAR has a diversity problem. Now, far be it from me to judge, but a sporting league that started in 1959 in the South, filled with former moonshiners and rum runners, how could it possibly have a racial diversity problem? Yes. So back in 2004, I couldn't believe it. I researched this, and it was a long time ago. Back in 2004, NASCAR started Drive for Diversity, where they had a driver development league where they were trying to attract various drivers of minorities. Okay. So the most successful candidate from that was Kyle Larson. And I looked at Kyle Larson and I'm like,
Kyle Larson, isn't he like a fresh white boy?
No, Kyle Larson is half Asian.
Oh.
And I'm not sure if because he was half Asian, they were concerned about his race or the fact that he was half Asian and he wouldn't be able to drive.
Concerned. But it seems kind of silly because Kyle Larson came from being one of the most successful dirt track racers in the world. He was a complete no-brainer for NASCAR. Yeah, wasn't that just like a random recruit then?
No, he was not a random recruit, and none of these people are. Like but it gets really complicated. So Kyle Larson comes in NASCAR, and then during COVID, they did that idiotic fake driving where they were all on simulators.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They televised this fake driving.
Didn't they have trouble doing that too? Don't I remember they were?
No.
Or did they do really well?
No, it was just people were like, this is dumb. Don't televise this. So he got in trouble because he didn't know he was on a hot mic and he was talking to his quote crew, not like you have crew chiefs in fake cars. And he said, "What you doing, my N-word?" which resulted in NASCAR losing their absolute shit. He lost his ride from Chip Ganassi and was out in limbo and had to go get re-educated at the racially sensitive re-education camp, even though he came through the racially sensitive Drive for Diversity program to understand that his words have meaning and whatever, which was okay. So then what ends up happening, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to him because he's out there as essentially a free agent. And he gets picked up by Hendrick Motorsports, the greatest NASCAR team to ever exist, and then wins like 2 championships and a gazillion races. So it's like, I'm like, when do I get to get punished for being a racist so that I can be on the greatest NASCAR team that's ever existed? So that's what happened to him. More recently, what's happened, like legitimately in the last 2 weeks, is a Bubba Wallace, or Darrell Wallace Jr., who is also mixed race, but looks African-American, whereas Kyle looks like, I have no idea what Kyle looks like. He looks like Kyle. Had some trouble at the Chicago race and started yapping. And his team owner, who happens to be another African-American named, you might know him, his name is Michael Jordan, said, he said, Bubba, like, just shut up and focus on racing. Well, Bubba loses his shit and says to Michael frickin' Jordan, you owe me a public apology or I'm not going to race again for you. And I'm like, dude, really?
That ain't going to happen.
No, you just literally took a gigantic dump on one of the greatest athletes in the world, a brilliant businessman who owns your team.
This reminds me
I would have fired him in 1 second.
This reminds me of that movie we just saw.
F1.
Yes.
Great movie, by the way. Great movie. I love the F1s.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
Even though it was about cars and racing.
It's great.
Kind of like a throwback to what movie? The Tom?
No, it's Days of Thunder, and they changed all the names.
And
then they changed, like, instead of Tom Cruise, it's Brad Pitt. Instead of falling in love with the team doctor, he falls in love with the team engineer.
I know.
They make women engineers.
Oh my gosh. Can I punch you now?
Don't worry. It's going to get way worse. So please keep watching or listening, as the case may be.
Say that they let men be engineers.
So anyways, Bubba kind of stepped into a gigantic pool of crap. Meanwhile, Danica Patrick, who was also hired entirely because of her gender, let's be perfectly honest.
Was she really, though?
She was decent in IndyCar. She completely sucked in NASCAR. Let's be honest. The only thing she ever won was the pole for the Daytona 500 once. She never won a single race.
Yeah, but there's lots of guys that have never won a single race.
Yes, I get it, but they don't last.
Our friends that watch NASCAR.
They don't last.
Share who they are.
They don't last as long as she did. And I'm going to get to why she lasted. And I think it's great. I think it's fine. Like, good for her. Like,
pick on the token woman.
But she never played the card. She never played the woman card. She just raced and would bitch and moan about, what people did to her on the track like every other racer. She also brought an absolute pile of cash to her team because she was unbelievably marketable. Like, she's like 5'1", very pretty. She's a reasonable, very accomplished race car driver. She was decent enough at NASCAR to not be a joke. She was not a joke at all. And she's very eloquent, carries herself well, represents the brands and the sponsors perfectly. So she brought like a ton. She was a total success story. Meanwhile, so after this race and this controversy, Kyle Larson, believe it or not, and Danica Patrick are having this little convo and breaking down the race about how Bubba's bitching about the race. And they apparently call him the Colin Kaepernick of NASCAR. Now, I thought Colin Kaepernick was supposed to be this icon of racial equity, but apparently that's a slur. So all over Facebook, Bubba is now suing Danica and Kyle Larson.
Oh my gosh.
Which essentially says, I suck at racing and I'm a bitch. That's my interpretation. Nobody else's. Okay.
Possibly.
Which makes it even more complicated because Kyle Larson, who came through the Drive for Diversity program, and Danica Patrick, who was clearly hired by Stewart Haas Racing because she was a woman. We have 3 diversity hires fighting with each other. Like, you can't make this up.
As it should be. No
Like,
one else should be able to get into the ring with them now.
Like you cannot make this up. You have these, quote, 3 diversity hires fighting with each other and suing each other. Like, it's
perfect,
right? It's not.
I don't know.
It's not like Denny Hamlin, who is the co-owner of Bubba's race team. It's not like Denny Hamlin is wading into these waters. He's like, dude, no, I'm not doing this. Like, so
it's not my kind to fight with.
Right. So it's a complete,
I get it.
It's a complete food fight. And then it gets way worse. It gets way worse.
Oh, it does?
Yes. Because there's a pre-existing lawsuit of Michael Jordan's team, the 2311 team, and Front Row Racing. Okay. So there's these 2 teams who are suing NASCAR for being a monopoly. Because NASCAR changed how you get to have a team in NASCAR. And what you have to do is you have to buy a charter. So if you buy a charter, they sell 36 charters and 40 cars get to race every weekend. If you own a charter, then you are guaranteed to race in all of the races if you own a charter. Plus, you get a higher share of the proceeds from the TV deals and race winnings and all of this kind of stuff, right? So you're buying into the business, to the league, and if you buy into the league, you get benefits. So when Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan bought into NASCAR, it was about $14 million per car to buy in. So that was about a $28 to $30 million nut to crack to be able to get their charters.
Mm-hmm.
So NASCAR came back in the last year or so, and they said, no, we're changing the charters. They're now 25 million, which means to keep their team, it's going to cost them 50 million minimum.
So you have to buy a charter.
You have to buy a charter.
So basically, you just need money.
Right. And if you don't own a charter, you can still race, but then you have to earn one of the last 4 spots.
So you can buy your way in. That's bullshit.
No, that's how racing works. It's how all of racing works. That's how F1 works. That's how everything works. You have to basically buy. F1 is finally going to have an American manufactured team. Cadillac is coming into F1 next year, and that was a vote and negotiation and a whole bunch of nonsense that went on with all of the F1 teams to let them in. It was a completely closed market. They couldn't earn their way in. Racing is a elite boys club. So the Michael Jordan team and Front Row Racing said, screw you, this is nonsense. You guys have a monopoly. And they sued NASCAR, which is essentially like, you're in a C-suite at a gigantic company and your boss is negotiating your bonus, and you walk into his office and he says, you're going to get a little bit less bonus this year because production for the entire team is down and your production was down a little bit more than the entire team. And you kick him in the balls. It's not going to turn out well. So the case got to a judge, and the judge says, no, of course not. NASCAR can absolutely 100%. It's a league. If you want, it's not anti-competition, because if you wanted to start your own stock car league, you could start your own stock car league. Mm-hmm. So they may lose their charters.
Mm.
So they're completely on the edge. And so I'm sitting here, and when I was researching this, I was all pissed off at Bubba because he's got this kind of entitled. He's always been kind of entitled. There was that case, 3-4 years ago, where somebody tied a pull handle for one of the garage doors, and it looked like a noose, and it was like this major international story about they tied it. No, it wasn't. It was a piece of rope, and everyone lost their shit because they're so racially motivated. So I have not been a fan of this guy. But at the same time, when you have Drive for Diversity, and you know you're one of the drivers that got hired, not just because you're great at doing what you do, but because of the color of your skin, that just doesn't work. Like, that's never going to work properly. It just isn't. And so I sit here, I try to put myself on both sides, And I mean, I would not want to be the France family that owns NASCAR, because how do you tread these waters as a multi-billion-dollar business and not look like racist hillbillies? So I just sit back and I pour myself a bourbon and I pop the corn and I give astute analysis from the sidelines.
Thanks for sharing and updating us on that, because I wouldn't have known anything about it.
No, but what it gets down to
coming across my social media feeds
is what we're going to get back. What we're going to get to is the bottom line of this is it's moral hazard. It's a moral hazard, right? Like when you set the bar based on race to try to, be equitable, because of course NASCAR had a massive race problem in the past. Willie T. Ribbs was a tremendous African-American race car driver who, I mean, he came right out and he goes, NASCAR's WWF or WWE. It's wrestling. It's all fake. And these guys are
fake.
Yeah, that's what he said back then. He's like, it's fake. And they were apparently sabotaging his engines and calling him the uppity N-word. And it was really ugly. And the guy was really good. Okay. So what would have happened to Willie T. Ribbs if he had the resources of, the drive for diversity? So I'm not saying the drive for diversity is bad. I'm saying you enter into a moral hazard when you say you're going to take somebody's racing excellence plus some immutable feature and hope it doesn't go bad. That creates a moral hazard. And that's fine. There's lots of things in life where you create moral hazards out of necessity, but my goodness, you better be willing to navigate them. Okay, move on to the next story. So we're Christians. I grew up, May grew up a little different than me, but I grew up like mainstream evangelical
Quite a bit different
Christianity.
than you.
Yes.
I always reference what is that? Meet the Parents?
Yes.
Meet the Parents. Guess who's who?
Mays was the Fockers.
No, wait. Yeah. Oh, yes. And then I'm trying to remember what the
CIA, I don't know.
The
Robert De
Niro.
He was a genius in that movie.
Character name is. I'll have to look that up. Anyway.
So at any rate, we get to the next moral hazard that, especially in popular Christianity, is exploding, which is Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Oh, yes.
So for people that have lived literally under a rock, Chip and Joanna Gaines had this massively successful show on HGTV, Fixer Upper. They then became Magnolia Network. They had their own network where she would show you how to cook things and how to decorate, kind of Martha Stewart, mixed race Martha Stewart, half Korean, half Caucasian, married to this goofy contractor guy who's kind of funny and just,
that's just her show, not the whole even network.
And it all centered around kind of trad values, as our daughter would say, tradcore. So
I never heard of that before.
Yeah, these traditional values. Oh. Mom and dad, a bazillion kids. They were very open about their, fundamentalist Christian beliefs, all of this kind of stuff. All right. So that's fine. That sets the stage. So what happened in the last week? Well, they got a new show on HBO Max. And it's called something like Welcome to the Frontier, where they build these rural homes out in the middle of nowhere. And of course, they have a couple on the show that are two men married to each other with two surrogate children, which is like, to a large portion of evangelical Christianity in North America, that is like dropping a moral Moab on them, because there's the surrogacy issue, the gay marriage issue, and the two gay guys having kids.
So, okay. Surrogacy is an issue in Christianity.
100% it is.
That is new to me.
Yes, totally. And it should be. That's again, it's a moral hazard. It should be. It's a moral hazard.
What do you mean by it should be?
Well, because that's 100%. Like,
it was in the Bible. In the Bible? Weren't
no,
people
no,
carrying children from?
No.
Not.
No.
I'm trying to recall.
No, 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 no. Like if you're saying Abram sleeping with Hagar,
No, they just had 50 concubines.
Yes. No, surrogacy is totally different. You are actually taking your seed or your husband's seed and you're implanting it in a woman that you're paying tens of thousands of dollars to carry your child. If that isn't a moral hazard, I don't know what is.
I was thinking of someone else. Yeah. No, but you're right. By the true definition of surrogacy.
No, surrogacy
is paying somebody. Then no.
It's a giant moral hazard.
My error.
So there's these
three. Why? And can you explain why you think it's a moral hazard?
Well, should you be paying somebody to care? Okay, first of all,
should you be paying someone to carry your child? Well,
that's
people
one.
Pay
two
people to impregnate them, to test tube babies, to do all kinds of things in the name of infertility.
I think.
So where do you draw the line?
But I think all of infertility, other than artificial insemination, where you just take the little turkey baster and enhance your, whatever. I think all of it's a moral hazard. I think all of it is. I think IVF is a moral hazard. There's no question it is. And people don't want to think of it that way because there's this cutout in the brains of a lot of Christians where family is good, having kids is good. Ergo, you should do whatever it takes to have more kids. But if you have to kill, if you know there's a wastage rate of 80% on the fertilized zygotes that you're going to implant in IVF to get one live-born child, that's not morally clear. I'm not going to take a stand on it right now. I'm not going to debate that.
Okay.
I'm just telling you that there is a moral hazard there.
Yes.
And to say there isn't,
it's a slippery slope.
To say there isn't is just silliness, right? Okay. And then the whole point is, look,
keep going.
Like if you really believe in if you believe in biblical Christianity, I think the idea of having a mommy and a daddy who are secure in their gender roles to raise a child is the best way to do it. Okay. Now, does that mean that two men couldn't raise an amazing human being? No, it doesn't mean that. Does it mean that two women couldn't do that? No, it doesn't mean that. Does that mean a single parent of either gender couldn't? Of course not. But it's not optimal. Okay. Look, love me, hate me, whatever you want. I don't think that's optimal. I think having a strong mother and a strong father to raise children is the optimal way, the way the system was designed. Okay. Now, we live in a world with lots of things that are not optimal. Okay. So I get that. So at any rate, the Gaineses happily trundle into this, and it is fans and turds just exploding off of each other. And so
are you a fan? Or are you throwing turds? Is what we want to know.
That's exactly right. So what happens is,
because we've had this discussion.
Yeah, what happens is not surprising to me because I've grown up with this my entire life. What happened was people on the conservative Christian side are like, they're promoting gay marriage, they're promoting gay parenting, they're promoting this. And I think that is absolutely 100% correct. I think they are. I don't think you can have a platform as big as they have and present a television show that's highly scripted and highly edited and not say you're not promoting that. I agree.
So, and where I get stuck in it is the whole thing of promoting it. When you say it's promoting it versus, and we got into this discussion about whether or not they're, so what does it mean? And we got really deep into what does it mean to witness and love all people? Because in the Bible, and I was reading actually the other day in Galatians about comparing sins, and I mean, it lumps everything from sexual immorality, promiscuity, lust, greed, gossip, in the same boat. And so therefore, I mean, we're all sinners. That happens to be a very visible one. So how do you exclude somebody who's just lusting and must have a Magnolia Joanna Gaines farmhouse, and all of us, I shouldn't say it because I don't watch the show, but all the women who sit there and it's like, well, damn, I got to have a house just like Joanna Gaines, and I must, be a DIY fixer upper and buy all the things on Etsy and Facebook and go to her store because I'm lusting and greeting after her stuff. How is that any different than, I guess they're promoting it versus what other people on the other side or can be sending? My thing is that how do you mix with the real world and extend love without it being showing that you're promoting it?
Well, I think there's a couple.
So that would that be
massive
to
differences.
never involve those people on a TV show?
Well, first of all, if you lust after shiplap, I'm done with you.
I know.
So sorry.
Me too.
I mean, we
We
know
have
people.
some shiplap in our house, and I was like, on our wall unit, and it was all I could do to go, I don't really know that I can have that in my house. It's not my thing, but
we know people that have legitimately made pilgrimages to the Magnolia,
yes,
like village of stores.
So how is that
And
appreciation and a hobby and a thing you like? I mean, you made a pilgrimage to the biggest sin hole of the world, which is Sturgis.
No, there's much bigger sin holes.
Well,
but there is plenty of sin
it's
holes.
pretty big sin hole, I think. Versus, there you go.
Okay, well,
how would you compare that?
Okay.
Versus having a gay couple on your show. So that says that you're promoting it or accepting it.
So here's the deal.
And how do you, I mean, we live in the world where how do you define accepting it versus extending it? I mean, that's where I get.
Well, you're asking a question, I'll give you an answer. So here's the deal. Would I not see a gay patient or a gay couple with their child that's sick? Of course not. I wouldn't even think twice about it. It would not even cross my mind for 1/1000th of a second. And we do that all day long. Our job is to treat, is to diagnose and treat disease in sick people, regardless of what their proclivities may be and whether I accept them or reject them from a moral groundwork. Doesn't matter. Okay. If I owned a contracting company and Bill and Stan with their 2 kids, Billy and Johnny, wanted me to build them a $4 million house in the middle of Idaho, would I say no? Honestly, I wouldn't. I would build them the freaking house. And honestly, their taste in decor would probably be better than virtually anyone that I would build the house for. I get it. I have gay friends. I understand how they think. But there's a difference. There's a difference between doing business with somebody and completely ignoring, whatever sinfulness or righteousness they may have based on your judgment or how you see the Bible judging that, and bringing in cameras and showing it to 10 million people. That's the difference. The difference is platform.
So have we had anybody on the show that's gay?
Yes, absolutely.
So what's the difference?
Well, what does promoting mean? And that's the key. That's the issue. Okay. And I think that there's also the bigger issue to me, honestly, I don't really give 2/16 of a dog shit on whether or not they built a house for a gay couple. I really don't. Okay. Chip's response is what really pisses me off about their side. And I'll tell you what pisses me off about the hyper-Christian religious right side. He comes out and he's like, judge not, don't judge, judgy. Christians are judgy. And I'm like, okay, so he just sprays a fire hose of dog crap back on the other side. Which, in my opinion, he should have been very gracious. He should have said this. This is what I would have said after I got pissed off.
That reflects his.
I know, but that's why you can't tweet. You can't tweet reflexively. Trust me, I've done it. It ends terrible every single time.
Maybe that reflects his level of depth of thinking. That's all I will say.
It does. I think he's great at measuring wood. I don't think he's great at thinking deeply. That's my judgment.
So maybe he's
and
just
it's a
loving these people.
So, but that's what he should have said. But then say it. Say this. Say this was difficult for Joanna and I. We did not know what to do. We prayed about it. And we felt that showing acceptance to people we disagree with was the most profoundly Christian thing we could do. The fact that this is biblically not accepted from the New and Old Testament, we understand, but neither is greed, neither is idolatry, neither is drunkenness, neither is gluttony. And guess what, kids? We've built a ton of houses for fat people. That's what I would have said.
Yeah, but he probably doesn't think philosophically. I'm just guessing.
No, I
think
think it's pretty clear
you
he
do.
doesn't. And he just made it worse.
He's just loving.
Do you know the other response
And there's
that would
people
have
in the
worked
world
great?
like that, Tim.
Do you know the other response that would have worked amazing? Saying nothing. Saying nothing. Saying, you know what? I'm not going to win this fight, so I'm not going to engage in it. I did what I did. Or just writing, you know what? We stand by what we did. We're saddened that people disagree with us, but that's us. Because guess what? There's another point to this. Chip and Joanna Gaines are a housing contractor, a carpenter, and an interior designer. They're not your frickin' pastor. They're not your Bible teacher. Okay? And people look at these people that have giant platforms, and we make them our heroes.
Yes.
And then we give them personal and spiritual attributes that we know nothing about. We add it on to them. Okay?
So
it's like,
why don't you share with everybody, though? I mean, the comments, briefly, sort of comments from both sides, because
well,
I don't think people realize how much hate slinging is going back.
Well, I don't know if it's hate. Like, from my perspective, if I was going to post on this, I would say, I would think so. If I was going to post on this, I'd go, they may have made a mistake. And I get it. Okay. They built their entire massive platform on this traditional values and being very open about their faith. But you know what? They might disagree with you. They might say that they're Christian and actually 100% embrace LGBT lifestyle. That's their choice. They're not my pastor. They're not deciding doctrine for the Southern Baptists or the Alliance Church of Canada or the Assemblies of God. So it's like they're business people doing a business. Okay? And if I was a business person doing that business, the question I would have asked is, am I going to be Bud Light by doing this because I don't get my audience? And I think, yes, they did. I think they kind of Bud Lighted themselves. But you know what? If that's what they believe, and that's what I would have said, Joanna and I firmly believe that we did the right thing in trying to reach out and bridge the gap between people that disagree with us. If you don't like that, that's fine. You know, we want you to watch our show, but if you reject us based on what we did, we sleep like babies because we did what we felt was the right thing based on our faith, on prayer, and counsel of wise people around us. That would shut it down. That would be a great response. But no, it's Christians are judgy. But you know what? He's right, because they freaking are.
Because they are.
Because they are. Right?
I don't know. Maybe that was just the best response ever.
Right, and
so
they
are you in agreement with the?
I'm in agreement with.
Response
I'm in agreement with both. I'm in agreement with both sides, and so it drives me absolutely crazy, because the absolute instantaneousness of people hurling accusation and judgment is mind-blowing to me. And what it tells me is you're jealous of their platform and their success. So you're gonna find the hook you can put into their back and see if you can drag yourself past them. I can't not think that.
Well,
because I think that that's a huge part of this.
Here's what I see. I mean, we're also good at looking at other people's faults and critiquing and judging sin, but we have trouble looking in the mirror at ourselves and just dealing with our own crap and going from there and loving on the world. And I mean, I get there's times, you're right, where you have to use judgment to not get yourself into trouble, know right from wrong. And when you have a relationship with another brother and sister in Christ's work, you are able to lovingly correct and call it out fine, but to just blanket, throw it out there to, I mean, how many people have a relationship with Chip and Joanna Gaze?
No, but that's the point.
Just like social media blasting.
We assume that we know these people.
You don't know what they're thinking.
We assume that we know these people because they become heroes of ours.
Because you know everything about them on TV, right? So you know them.
No, you don't know them at all. I remember when this happened to me. It was so funny. You know, I'm a huge NASCAR fan. I was a gigantic Jeff Gordon fan when he was racing. And so you unconsciously ascribe things to the guy's a race car driver. Okay. You know, he didn't go to college. He's a race car driver. He committed, when I was studying medicine, he was studying like how to turn left really fast. Okay. And I remember seeing him on, what was that show? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? This is, you know, probably 20 years ago or more. And he's on there and I'm thinking, you know, he's probably of a similar intellect and education and whatever, because I'm taking all of my stuff and ascribing it to this hero that I have. And they get to a question. I remember this. It's seared into my consciousness. They ask him, Regis asks him, what is a clairvoyant?
Mm-hmm.
And then they give you the four, you know, it's like fortune teller or whatever. And I'm like, Jeff Gordon doesn't know what a clairvoyant is? He's kind of an idiot. Like, he's legitimately kind of an idiot. And I was like, no, he's not. He's a race car driver. He can have an IQ of 200. And if the only thing you've done is drive race cars for your entire life up until that point, I don't think he was even 30 years old, you're not going to know what a clairvoyant is.
Well, maybe
because you don't read a lot of books.
Everything about everything.
No, I know, but it's funny. So we ascribe, it's like you could be the highest, you know, moral person where you don't smoke, you don't drink, you know, you never like whatever. And you have these very high, and then you look at Chip and Joanna and you're like, I really like them. They're my heroes. Well, you assume they have the exact same moral standards as you
or
do.
Thought processes on things.
And they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're different people that you don't know. And again, it's the whole influencer culture. We wouldn't give two craps about the Gaines family if we didn't have phones and continuous social media and a bajillion, you know, clucking hens telling us how to think. And so I am more than willing to give them a wide berth of grace on this because I don't know them.
Well, I'm just thinking of how many people in your life that are friends that have, I don't want to say committed equivalent type faux pas, sins. I mean, that you've noticed, that they've confided in you. I mean, do you just turn your back on them and like, well, I'm checking out. I'm not watching your show. I'm like,
no,
whatever.
It's not friends though. It's different. You still have to understand that you have
it's okay to boycott someone that's not a friend.
No, what I'm saying is that when you have like tens of millions of people watching you, you have a completely different level of responsibility. You do, but
no, it's tough, right?
But I read
perfect.
these.
I mean, I don't know who their advisors are. I don't know if they have a spiritual advisor for the show.
If you have 20 million or whatever people watching,
we don't have an advisor, and look at all the cussing and swearing and things that come out of mostly your mouth. And so, I don't know. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Should people be boycotting this?
Oh, maybe. Look, I'm
just saying.
We don't proclaim to have the answers, but we will be 100% honest.
I mean, I could say
to the point of swearing.
You could say and disagree that, they kind of screwed that up and they shouldn't have done that because this is what I believe. But I don't know that you should just like control alt delete, never support again.
No, I'm unwilling to do that because I think
just gonna watch cute cat videos and AI of whatever.
I am the only bone of contention I have with them is twofold. You kind of made your whole business off of this very traditional hyper Christian thing, and then you kind of took a hard left turn, and someone should manage what Chip retweets because adding to the food fight was unhelpful. And you should have expected it. Like the fact that they didn't expect it tells me that they either believe quite different than what they understand the mainstream of popular Christianity to be, or they got manipulated by the people that they're working for.
And here's my take. Now, I don't watch a ton of it. Maybe your impression's different because you don't watch as much as I do. But I don't see it as a strong show that really pushes and grounds Christianity, because I didn't even really know about it until I think one time I saw them being interviewed on some talk show or something and they talked about it. I mean, they have the whole family value stuff because they show what they're doing, but to me, there's other people that aren't Christians that have what trad value stuff life, but are very accepting of things that we wouldn't in Christianity. So for me, I never even really saw it as a platform for sharing, professing Christianity. Does that make sense?
No, I think that.
So I think a lot of Christians see that in there because they knew it about them. But honestly,
I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. If they were 100% silent on their personal life and their faith and only talked about the fact that, you know, we've been married for however long, we believe in a traditional family, we go to church once in a while. Okay, left it at that, right? And Magnolia is our business. None of this would have blown up.
No.
They were very vocal about their faith because they should be, because it's who they are, and their fans want to know who they are. Okay, I get that. At the same time, how many people throwing rocks haven't had issues in their own life, haven't got their girlfriend pregnant and had an abortion, hadn't, because one of the person throwing rocks has had that because he's talked about it. So yes, I get it.
Don't have secrets from their family members. Don't have, I just think so many things.
I think that if we're really going to try to live the gospel and speak truth, you have to lead with grace. And now that, again, back to Bonhoeffer, it's not cheap grace. It doesn't mean you don't call out sin. It doesn't, but like this morning we're at church. And what was that? John 13, the whole business of they will know that, basically, I'm paraphrasing, they'll know that you'll know me. This is the Last Supper. This is Jesus giving the charge to the 12. And one of them was a devil. And he's saying this, they'll know you know me by how you love each other. It wasn't that they know that they'll know you know me by how you love your neighbor. It wasn't that. That's Old Testament. Love your neighbor as yourself. It's how you love your brothers and sisters in Christ that will speak to your neighbor. Your neighbor will go, these guys go to this.
Just the brothers and sisters in Christ, but even
but that's what that's about.
Those aren't.
It's about how it was.
How do you love your neighbor that's not a believer?
But no.
But you're talking about a different thing.
Not that verse. That verse is 100% about how the disciples specifically, totally specifically, 100% literally, how the disciples loved each other will be the witness of the fact that they know Christ. That was it. That is mind-blowing because we often take it as we have to be a great witness. We have to not cut people off in traffic. We have to not flip people off. Yes, all that's true. But the power, the light is in the fact that the people you associate with the most at church and small group and all that, those are the ones that you love in a way that's so profoundly different than other organizations that people on the outside look in and go, holy crap, what's going on with that? Right? It's not the Lions Club. It's not Rotary. It's something so transcendently different. I mean, these people care for people in their midst that are weirdos because the church doesn't have a no weirdo clause. Like it's just, it's completely, totally different. It's so transformationally altered. So weird. It looks, the way Christians should love other Christians is so weird that it gets attention. That's really what that verse is saying. You should be such weirdos in how you care for each other that other people go, what secret sauce do those guys have? Because I want that. That's what it should be. And so I'm sitting there listening to this morning.
Get the weirdo part.
I'm sitting there listening. No, you would be a weirdo. Seriously. I'm sitting there listening to this and I go, well, how does this apply to what I'm reading on my phone with Chip and Joanna Gaines? Like, how does that apply? And I came up with 3 things on navigating moral hazard. I think number 1, you lead with humility. I think humility is the gas in your tank. If every decision you make relationally is fueled with humility, your chances of success go up by like a bazillion %. The other one is again, based on humility, put yourself in the other person's place. I think the Gaines family has been wildly successful for a whole bunch of reasons, largely because they're very honest and they're exceptionally good at what they do, and they're very engaging. But they're not theologians. So I don't know, like, we've interviewed gay people. We've interviewed people we disagree with. Are we promoting their lifestyle? No, we're having a freaking conversation. That should be enough. And number 3, which this is 100% aimed at myself, be incredibly quick to forgive and incredibly slow to speak. And I'm so glad I did not engage with anybody on this online, because it is a Christian food fight that's just gross, in my opinion.
Very well said. I don't know that I have anything to add to that. I am proud of you for not engaging, but I wouldn't.
I was.
Is that right? I don't know.
No,
those are usually not the fights that you get involved
No, that's
in.
not the fights I get into.
It's not usually.
Now, vaccines, I get in those fights.
I know. Those ones, yes. I just think we got to stop. We just need to, when that comes up, you just need to pull up the Snow White mirror and put it in front of your own face and go, all right, look at myself.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you can't you have to be able to make moral judgments.
Of course.
You have to. Like, I mean, Ravi Zacharias.
But we're so quick to judge others.
Right.
That we need to, I think, sometimes just stop, put the mirror up and go, okay.
Ravi Zacharias is one of my greatest heroes, and by all credible evidence, he was probably a rapist. So Christian heroes can be unbelievably fallen to a point where you could not even comprehend it. So, and it's not, but for the grace of God, go I. It's not, because I'm not going to be a rapist. Not going to happen.
Right. My point being, it's like the whole 3, 2, 1, when you're freaking out, panicking, want to say something. Before you do, put the mirror up and go, all right, what about myself? And it doesn't mean, you're right, that you can't have an opinion, maybe a discussion, call somebody out.
But I also see a lot.
But really think about it.
I see a lot of what would you call narrative hijacking? So this is hot and it's cool and it gets clicks. So then you got to jump in so that your platform gets more clicks because you're, and
oh, I know.
And I hate purity. Like, I love what Jeff Childress says on his Substack, COVID and Coffee, about purity spirals. So the left is caught in purity spirals. It's like, who's the most woke? Who's woker than woke? And then they end up destroying themselves. Well, we on the Christian right can also get into purity spirals where you completely destroy yourself because no one is ever pure enough, and you wipe out your entire mission. And it's in any of these kind of movements, right? So like organized religion, pro-vax, anti-vax, holistic medicine, anti-holistic medicine. You get into purity spirals and people lose their freaking minds. That's exactly what happens. It becomes mindless mud throwing for like one-upmanship. Like, it's so unbelievably tribal and gross. It needs to go away. You need to lead with humility and grace. And when I hear somebody unbelievably graceful and unbelievably humble leading on this argument, I will listen to them. Virtually everyone else, I read the article, I shut it off, and I go, nope, I don't want part of that. Like, if I would love to hear Chip and Joanna Gaines' pastor say something. That would mean way more to me. I counseled them and I said, don't do this, and blah, blah, blah. And they did it anyways. And they said, we're going to get $100 million. Like, okay, if that happened, totally different. Hasn't happened. So I don't know. Right? But of course, every single person with 2 thumbs in a Twitter account knows exactly what's going on. 100% they know exactly what's going on.
Well, we could all hide behind this thing, right? Because
Right.
then somehow the emotion just disappears,
Well,
as well as the person's personality.
right. And to rewind back to the whole NASCAR being racist hillbillies, which, there was tremendous number of racist hillbillies in NASCAR. That's fine. But nobody ever, you never ever heard massive outrage about the most racist sport was actually systemically racist sport in the United States, which was golf. Unspeakably, systemically racist.
Oh, what, with the caddies all black?
Nope.
Oh.
Augusta National. Okay. One of the 4 majors. Okay. Augusta, Georgia. The Masters. Perfectly named. When could black people join Augusta National?
Probably not till the 90s.
1990. Tiger Woods went pro in 1996. He could win the Masters, and 6 years before, he couldn't join the club. Okay, it gets more disgusting.
Holy cannoli.
It gets more disgusting.
Wow.
When did Augusta National? When did Augusta National remove all of their race and gender discrimination policies? What year?
Probably not until into the 2000s.
2012.
I was going to say 15.
If you were a woman, you could not join Augusta National until 2012. And then I looked up.
So the black people got to join before the women.
Yeah, which is called common sense. But that's besides the point.
I'm going to put my finger up in the air here.
So then I asked ChatGPT the coup de grace, how many Jews are members of Augusta National? And I got basically, well, that's not really a question, blah.
Ooh.
And
that's probably none.
And there was no blah, 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 blah. They didn't remove all of their discrimination policies until 2012. So basically, none.
Wow.
You want to talk about white Southern wasps?
Wow.
Like that is in the, like if NASCAR,
I can't even imagine.
if NASCAR, the sport of 2-year-old babies in diapers drinking Coca-Cola out of a bottle, okay, they didn't have racist policies up till 19. They had no racial discrimination policies.
A bunch of white
Augusta National, 1990. You couldn't golf. You could be the greatest golfer in the history of the world, and if you were black, you couldn't play in the Masters until 1975.
So riddle me this.
Till 1975.
Where?
1975.
Riddle me this then. Where were all the people protesting that BS
Exactly.
on social media?
You know
saying,
why
well,
they
this
didn't
ain't
protest
right.
it? Because it never got amplified. Because you never fed the useful idiots what you wanted them to see.
They probably didn't know.
Exactly. They didn't know because it was all buried.
Wow.
Because you couldn't feed the mass of useful idiots the useful idiot sauce to make them freak the
But
F
what
out.
about, there must have been people obviously golfing there and even pros that knew this. Why weren't they protesting or boycotting her?
Because they're white.
No, but not all white people are in the camp. Or
well, and they had.
Why not? I'd be like, I'm not coming and golfing in your damn tournament. I'm out. Screw you. I want your dirty money.
The first black man.
If I knew it, but yeah, maybe a lot of them didn't know it.
The first black man. Oh no, they all knew that. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? You think Jack Nicklaus in 1965 didn't know that if he was black or a Jew, he couldn't be a member of Augusta? Come on.
Jeff Gordon didn't know what a.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon and
clairvoyant
Jack Nicklaus are a little bit on a different level, I think.
I don't know.
I think they ran in different
Don't know
circles.
what's going through their heads.
No, but that's exactly it. Where was Arnie? Where was Jack Nicklaus? Where was Tom Watson? 1990. 1975 was the first time a black man played in the Masters. Because in 1974, he could have been the number one golfer in the world, and he wasn't allowed. Like, they named it perfectly. It should be the masses. That's what it should be. It should be the masses.
Well,
because it's got an unspeakably racist history.
We could go on forever and talk about how honestly it's gone the other way. It's like now you're totally punished if you are a white.
Correct.
Male.
And I think Bubba has played the, racial card, which I think is nauseating. Just like I think throwing gigantic boulders at the Gaines family is nauseating, though they probably fumbled and stumbled. And it's like, what is the deal even with the right wing? It's like Trump does something that you don't love, and all of a sudden, you had every Trump flag on your car and your house and every bumper sticker, and then he does something that you don't understand, that you don't like, and all of a sudden it's like 100% fire and brimstone. He's a piece of crap. Like, it's like, okay, did you trust him enough to vote for him? Then maybe you should keep trusting him. I'm not saying blind devotion and worshiping the guy. I'm just saying, if you hire a CEO in your company, you hire him for certain reasons. And he may be doing things that you don't completely understand because you don't have all knowledge. But no. Everyone with a keyboard in their parents' basement, morbidly obese.
Forget that part. Everyone in their fancy house sitting there.
Everyone's an expert.
401ks blowing up.
Everyone's an expert on shit they don't know. Right. And it's like, no.
In the comfort of their American homes, protected from the rest of the world's crap, got an opinion.
Oh, yeah. And
how are you running your finances in your company and your home with your credit card?
Yeah,
and all your
and look,
right?
Look, as much as we badmouth pharma, we've come out and we've said, look, there's pharma that we like. Like, you got to have pharma. You got to have, you got to be able to treat Hodgkin's lymphoma. You got to be able to treat high blood pressure. You got to be able to treat heart disease.
Any pharma sponsorship?
Would I?
Mm-hmm.
I would take. I absolutely.
Hey,
not,
if you're
not
listening,
to sound like a piece of dog.
Listening.
Not to sound. Look, I think that the
Here's
industry.
Our disclosures right now. No.
I think the industry is mostly corrupted, but it doesn't mean that it's entirely corrupted, and it doesn't mean that you throw all the baby out with the bathwater. Would I take a pharma sponsorship from Big Pharma? 155,000% I would. For very specific drugs that I believe in, that I understand how they work. I would. Yes, I would. So yes, there you go. Because you can't be BS free and not understand what both sides are. And so I think, for instance, that there are groups of drugs in the GLP-1 world that are potentially life-changing for certain people. Would I take money from somebody to back that? Yes. Would I make a Jardiance ad for a drug that makes you pee out blood sugar and potentially give you a taint infection? No. So, like, that's called discernment. It's discernment. Like, life is based on discernment. You have to decide, would you have done an ad for Emgality that absolutely saved you from migraines until you got your hormones sorted out?
I tried to speak for them. Yeah.
Like, would you? Of course you would.
Yeah.
Would I do a whatever that Xiaflex ad or whatever it was called, the drug for the curved penis? No, that's insanity. But that's the point, right? Like, it's lovingly procreating something versus sexual assault. Like, they are from 30,000 feet, it's the same act. It's profoundly different based on context and outcome. And somehow we lose context and outcome. And we're like,
right.
Well, I could never make love to my wife because sexual assault exists. Well, then you're an idiot. Would I take I would take a sponsorship from anything I believe in. Some of those things are pharma. Most of them aren't. That's easy.
Well, we need to put our link to our one pharmaceutical sponsor, which is Auro Wellness, AURO wellness.com, for glutathione. We are Tim is a giant
totally sold out on that.
committed user right now. I had to take a break just because of some other health stuff that it was messing with, but they've been on our show, and we have an affiliate link that we have to put out there to social media for you to click on that, because we would get a little kickback, but we haven't. We need to be on that. But other than that,
It's called an affiliate link. It's not called a kickback. I would not say that in public.
well, we get
It's called an affiliate link.
It's an
People
affiliate?
know when it's an affiliate, they know you're getting paid.
okay.
That's all you have to say.
There you go, an affiliate link. So we get a little bit of money when you buy the product.
If you believe in us. And that's it.
That's
Every single sponsor we've had, we 100% believe in what they're doing. That's it. Simple. Do you need money to run a business? Yes. If you're doing a media business, you need sponsors. And I'm not going to take a sponsor. I mean, I'm not going to take a Planned Parenthood sponsorship if they gave me $1 billion.
Can't even imagine that.
Like,
Oh,
it's not going to happen. Like, it, you know, so.
Well, let's circle around and wrap this up.
What are you drinking?
Oh, there you go. I'm having it's a Muscat from Italy. These grapes wrapped up neatly in a bottle, disguised as a Cooper's Hawk It's the wine of the month. It's a Zimbolo. I'm gonna butcher it. Zimbobo. It's a Muscat. It's slightly sweet, mostly light and refreshing, very floral and citrusy at the same time. What about you?
I am drinking the beautiful bourbon from 1.8 miles from here, the Loaded Cannon Distillery, where I had my 60th birthday party 3 weeks ago. And by some miracle, I have not drank all of the presents I got.
It's not a miracle.
I
would be admitting you to AA
yes.
if you had drank all the presents you got, because it's a cabinet full of presents.
So yes, it's delicious. And, you know, obviously it makes me, like, if you listen to this, it makes me incredibly smart.
Yeah. Obviously you weren't drinking the other night when our son was trying to get the Ticketmaster tickets to us to go to the Toto concert we went to last night. Let's just share this fun, stupid family story.
So he is an aerospace engineer.
And you're an incredibly smart physician.
Yeah, and we're all freaking out because we got hyper-focused on how shitty Ticketmaster is, which I'm making no exception for that. Yes.
So terrible. For your birthday.
Because he bought me tickets, May and I tickets, to basically a yacht rock festival.
Which was?
Christopher Cross, Men at Work, and Toto.
We got to talk about that.
And it was fantastic. Other than it was hotter than Satan's balls out there, but it is Florida on the 19th of July, so that's what you get. So he's like, it says I can transfer the tickets. It won't let me. I can't transfer the tickets. I've spent an hour and a half of my life and I won't transfer the tickets.
And he even called.
He called there
desk.
And he
followed the instructions online. And I even tried to go in and, request ticket transfer. And it's like their system's got a glitch now or something. So it wouldn't work.
So May is at the
spending an hour of this time. And then I came home Friday night because Tim is texting Jake about this, and I walk in and he's like, we're bleeped. We're not going to be able to go because Jake can't transfer the tickets and it won't let you screenshot a photo, and he couldn't text it to us. And you're sitting there texting, right?
Yeah.
And you go ahead.
And then Meg walks in and goes, well, why don't we just log into Jake's Ticketmaster account and use his account? And I'm like, I'm an idiot.
So I literally call up while he's texting that back, and I call our son and said, give me your username and password and I'll just log in on my phone. Done. I have the tickets. I am now you when we go to the concert. And he started laughing, and Tim was just like laughing, thinking,
well, that's why.
How come, Mom, you could figure that out? And we spent the last couple of days over the last week and all this time trying to use technology. And I'm like, because I'm just a simple mom that doesn't think tech, just troubleshoots simply.
That's why we have women.
And actually, because I am smarter than you guys.
if there wasn't that detached, wise female view of things,
it's basic,
we would have probably had an armed assault on the Ticketmaster like headquarters.
It's like, well,
Because it's vengeance, baby.
it just means logging in.
Yeah.
To the accessing.
And it worked perfect.
Yeah, it should.
And then I got to have a double vodka and Red Bull, and I think it cost me a kidney and part of my liver.
Well, almost everybody needed some dialysis or IV infusion. It was so hot. But
It was fantastic.
if you get a chance to go and hear them, I would say, okay, who's your favorite? Because you don't mind.
Well, it still is clearly Toto, because those guys are such unbelievable players. And I thought, I mean, Lukather was still singing fine, but Joseph Williams, I thought, still freaking nailed it. And that kid that they hired, last name Atlas, I forget his first name. Dennis Atlas. They found this kid, and Lukather said in 2 days he learned their entire set. In 2 days. He played keyboards and sang. But again, it's Toto. It's all these session guys that know all the session guys. He was
kind of Carrot Top meets Michael Bolton.
Yes.
It was great. And that was not to be like derogatory, but that's kind of what he looked like. Great, amazing singer and musician. He sounded more like Toto to me. It was hard for me because I've never been a giant Toto fan. I appreciate their studio musicianship. I mean, they're such a tight band. I was happy when they weren't singing and they were playing. I could have listened to that forever. It was. They're
not just a tight band. They're a tight. It's like Iron Maiden.
Their harmonies were good.
It's like Iron Maiden. They're a tight band playing stuff that's super duper difficult. Like if you understand like how syncopated it is and the key changes and all of that, like they'll do that dun, 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 and then they'll come back and it's in a different key, but it's the same melody. And you're like, what the?
Well, I don't think there's not always that difficult.
No, but there's several bands like that where you listen to it, like Tool, Rush, Iron Maiden, and Toto, which is a completely insane combination to put together.
It was just tough because you get in your brain, their voices when they're younger, and it doesn't sound the same. And that was hard for me.
You're calling Hay.
Oh, okay. Now, Men at Work, holy cow,
was exactly the same.
He is 76. He sounds.
No, he's 72.
Sounds the same as when he was 32.
Exactly the same.
The band was amazing.
Yes.
And I was just in love. If you don't really know Men at Work, start looking it up on Apple and you go, oh yeah.
But look at them play live now.
Yes.
And it'll blow your mind. Like, so the only guy in the band that's original is Colin Hay, who's the front man, the singer, who you have to have because otherwise he's got a fairly distinctive voice and it would sound really dumb if it was somebody else.
Land Down Under.
And they still have enough of a following, etc., that they can basically pull whatever studio guys they want to tour with them, which is completely what they did. And they had this young woman who was playing saxophone,
and flute and keyboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
great.
And
she sang too a little bit. And the other three, the bass, the drummer, and the other guitarist are all from Cuba, I think. Yeah. They were amazing. No,
it was so crazy.
I was blown away.
Like I'll have all these guitars and amps and stuff hanging up in my garage, and I'm still like it's smoke on the water level kind of thing, right? And it's just like you listen to these guys. I mean, Lukather was in Toto when he was 18 or 19 years old, and he's the only guy that stayed in the band from the very beginning.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
And then they're all studio musicians, and they all session together on all these like we're driving home and May's looking up all the bands, all the stuff he played on, like, Thriller, Michael Jackson. He wrote, George Benson's biggest hit, like on and on and on.
He wrote for Olivia Newton-John and for.
Well, he played for Aretha Franklin and
Urethra.
Yeah, Urethra.
That's your medical brain. Urethra. Urethra.
Yeah,
stop. That'll make people laugh. No, and Christopher Cross. It was kind of like a throwback. It wasn't too bad. He can't hit some of the notes, but hey, I mean, that was kind of fun.
No,
it was a good opener.
No, the whole thing was good.
But
Ride Like the Wind is just a great song.
I know.
I mean, it is. I mean, as much as I'm all about heavy metal, I have my guilty pleasure is yacht rock.
Tim loves yacht rock.
Stuff. It's so nostalgic for me. Like I'm sitting there listening to them play Africa, which drives May completely insane. She hates that song. And
I don't hate it. It's just,
it's very overplayed. And they bring on Colin Hay, they bring on the background singers for Criss Cross, they bring out Christopher, and they're all singing it, and I'm like,
It was pretty.
that was worth the price of
Because
admission.
they're all friends, just like they said, and they tour together. But yeah, I want to know what your guilty pleasure is in music. Tim does like yacht rock, and it was fine for one season years ago, and we're still listening to it it's perpetual summer here.
Well, it's
and
either,
then he's got his Metallica, Megadeth.
well, yeah, the problem is this. If we go anywhere and we
Oh.
want background music so we can talk while we're driving, it's either yacht rock or it's Gojira. And I know if I play like Gojira continuously for 8 hours, like we're driving straight to a lawyer. So
That's funny. I'm kind of the 80s classic. I did like some punk rock, and now my rock is different.
well, it's all mercy me. Well, you like
That's not rock. That's
you,
Christian.
you like Shinedown and Disturb. It's called.
I have an eclectic taste.
You don't know what the genre is you like. The genre you like is called nu metal.
Oh.
Yes.
Well,
And the kings of nu metal are Disturbed. That's the what Steely Dan is to yacht rock, Disturbed is to nu metal. There you go. And then I could give you a whole bunch of other bands.
Evanescence fits in that too. Another big.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, I guess it would. They're kind of, yeah. It's weird. You get into these genre things, and it just becomes,
I don't know.
super crazy.
Won't catch me listening to much country, other than if it's Zach Williams.
Yeah, that's not really country though.
Christian country crossover. And I'm not a Swiftie person either.
No, that's
Anyway.
awful.
All right. Well,
We kicked this to
happy
death.
Sunday. We would love it if you're watching this on the replay. Share your thoughts online. And we hope you have a great week. Until next time, keep it BS free. See ya.